Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Compared to the other states of the country, the 7 states of the Northeast lag behind in economic development. The situation of Assam, however, is somewhat better when compared to the other 6 states.
As on March 31st, 1991, Assam had the largest share of large and medium-scale industries in the Northeast. Assam had a whopping share with 74.8% of the industries, while the corresponding figures for other 6 states vary from 10.4% to nil. In case of number of industrial units, Assam has 116 units and the corresponding figures for other states vary from 16 to nil. Per capita power consumption of electricity, which is considered to be an important factor for development, also presents a grim picture for the Northeast. In 1989-90, the All India per capita power consumption was 236 kWh, while the corresponding figures for northeastern states vary from 108 to 51. Transport infrastructure in the Northeast is also far below the national average. It has a pittance 0.95 kilometers per 100 square kilometers as against the national average of 1.88 kilometers. With regards to rural electrification, only 52.76% of the villages of the Northeast are provided with electricity, while the national average is 75.5%. However, the economic and industrial backwardness of the region cannot be attributed to the lack of natural resources.
There is no part of the country today as rich as the Northeast in terms of resources. Coal is there, very good quality, great amounts of coal. Limestone of the first quality is almost limitless. You have tea, you have water power, and now the richest and the largest and the best concentration of uranium has been discovered in the Northeast, actually in my own state, the richest in the whole of India. And forests, and then the opportunity for tourism. Such variety, such exquisite climate, such interesting people, you don't find anywhere in the world.
The region is known for abundance in natural resources. It has 2,947 million tons of limestone, 928 million tons of coal, 18 million tons of crude oil, 48 million cubic meters of natural gas, 50,000 megawatt of hydel power potential, besides forest resources and horticulture products. The proper utilization and exploitation of the region's abundant natural resources is lacking due to inadequate infrastructure and other facilities. The region has rugged terrain and thick forests. Coupled with it is the lack of political will and a push from below.
Only thing that seemed to be lacking one area is long-term investments on infrastructure development. And today also the state is undergoing that kind of problem because of lack of infrastructure. There is a certain gap where people are not able to come above the poverty line.
The Northeast is one well-defined mass of the country, about a 1/12 of the land mass of the country, which is only very tenuously connected with the rest of India by road surface through a long circuitous route, which makes traveling very expensive and the movement of goods into the area long and expensive, and the movement of things out of the Northeast, except certain raw materials which the people here want, like coal or timber, which are depleting resources of the Northeast. Except these, nothing of any significance moves out of the Northeast to the rest of India. So there's no market. And in this context, all talks of industrialization of the Northeast has no meaning at all.
Only one more year is left for the 8th five-year plan period to end. What was achieved in the last 4 years?
To a large extent, I would say that, as I had mentioned earlier, the per capita allocation as per the population has certainly been above average. It has been more than other states. And we could have seen much more developments. But more of the funds had to be utilized for maintenance of law and order. Then, as I had mentioned, the infrastructure development, like certain power projects are being taken up in Nagaland. To name them, one is Likimro, one is the Doyang Haidel project. If these two units had been completed in time, we would have been self-sufficient in power, or even surplus would have been there. And that way, other things like industries would have developed. But these projects are yet to be completed, mainly due to lack of funds, and when it is dragged on for a long period of time, the escalation cost and other factors come in, and the cost goes up. That has happened, and we are still yet to commission these two projects. And power is one of the most important prerequisites for developing an economy. And secondly, for roads, although there is sufficient amount of money being spent, and more or less in Nagaland, most of the villages are covered, at least by fair weather roads. And the border roads have been playing a very active role, and the road is the only communication possible. But, for example, when I talk of infrastructure, the railways, the lines that were constructed probably before independence or by the British to connect the tea gardens, this railway line had been used till recently. We are very happy that the broad gauge line has been brought up to Dimapur. And in the same way, the air service. Now, earlier there used to be daily flights, or at least 4 flights a week out of Dimapur, Indian Airlines flights. Now it is reduced to 2. And in many cases, the flights are just cancelled, and people are left stranded. With that kind of transport and communication, with that kind of infrastructure, it is very difficult to expect anyone to come and invest. And in the same way, the plan allocation, although it has been all right as per capita, but the projects, as I was saying earlier, since there is no flexibility, there are no big projects that could be taken up. And it is all within the plan. And more or less, it is utilized nowadays for establishment cost.
But on the positive front, Northeast has gained attention. Today, it is not just the law and order disturbances that dominate the headlines, but economic and political grievances also figure prominently. The policy planners are more aware of the ground realities, and the investment potential is being discussed at major forums.
Recently, the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries came up to organize a discussion on the investment opportunities in the Northeast. Attended by the Finance Minister, Chief Ministers, and some top-level bureaucrats and industrialists, it reached some astounding conclusions. The Northeast, it held, has a great investment potential and has the potential of becoming a regional economic tiger. The Confederation of Indian Industries has recommended a 3-pronged strategy aimed at industrial integration, geographical integration, and cultural integration of the Northeast. However, many industrialists are shying away from investing in the region. Apart from a few big names, no major company has come forward, and that too, their investment is mostly limited to Assam.
Bangladesh doesn't have much of raw material, but it has a tremendous amount of underground gas, which can just be put through the pipelines to Calcutta and Bombay and all that, earns a lot of money. And reciprocally, Bangladesh has also to open up its rivers for interstate navigation between the Northeast and the rest of India. And in terms of modern world trade, Bangladesh also should offer The northeast an outlet to the sea through its Chittagong port.
Now one route has been opened, that is Moreh and Tamu. But the communication is very poor, and the big area, especially in the northern side, that is not at all connected by any roads. People have the system of having barter trades as in the traditional way, and that is all done by headloads. Now with headloads, it is impossible to think of a situation where you can export or import in a sizable quantity which can contribute to the economy. And in this area, certainly the infrastructure requirements is far below the expectation, and that is one of the main constraints. Therefore, it is a welcome thing that the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Myanmar government to open up these routes. And it may take time, but certainly it will open up a big market. And in the present globalization and liberalization, the Northeast is feeling left out, more because there are no private sector investments coming in from outside or NRIs.
In the rugged mountainous terrain of the region, transportation and communication take a lot of time. As a result, valuable time is lost. These economic issues led to political grievances, with the state government blaming the centre for not doing enough, while the central government blames them for mishandling the situation.
The amount of money that we have poured in that area, besides the state annual plans and the state 5-year plans, quite a huge amount has been spent so far. If I mistake not, about 2,400 crores as NEC they have invested in that area. But they feel that because the schemes have not been completed, they don't allow the schemes to be completed. They keep it incomplete, ask for the new schemes. So everything remains incomplete, and they feel that all the schemes are mostly incomplete. So they are not getting the proper treatment. It is their own decision which they have to take, that they would rather see to it that schemes started in 6th plan or 5th plan, they are first completed. Otherwise, time overruns, cost overruns, they cost so much that it will be impossible for NEC to meet the fund requirement of those areas. I don't think that any amount we are required to spend any more amount. Certainly if it is required, we are prepared to spend more amount also. There is no problem. But we should also see that schemes are completed and benefits become available to the local people. What is the idea in starting large number of schemes? Well, so I have requested them, please concentrate on completion of the schemes, and thereafter you are free to ask for new schemes. For completion of the projects, if any additional funds are required, I am sure that the Planning Commission and the Government of India, they will be too happy to invest more money in that area. Ultimately, our objective is to see that they are brought on par with the rest of the country and they don't feel isolated. That's the objective that we have in view. Every effort is being made in that direction.
But what Northeast really needs is an alternative model for development that takes into account the typical topography of the region. Delhiites recently witnessed the colorful Manipuri dance Thobal Chongpa that held the audience spellbound.
Thobal Chongpa originated in the sylvan rustic settings of Manipur. On a clear piece of ground, a pole is erected, and at its foot, a balsam wood with floral offerings is kept. The dancers form a circle around the pole, and a singer sings in the middle. But modernization has taken its own toll, as in Delhi, you don't find a clear ground with rustic settings. Likewise, the use of the gramophone is favored nowadays. Organized by the Manipur Students Association, Minister of State for Home, Thamson, was the chief guest.
Now, the good news is that Thobal Chongpa of this year, 1996, is declared open.
Padam Bodgohain is a well-known sculptor. His works that are displayed in all prominent places in Assam have become important landmarks. In person with Padam Bodgohain.
While sometimes the exhibitions are producing somebody's or some sangstha, then I joined them and I got the first prize. So gradually I got such kind of, the awards by various types of the SMS people. From my childhood, I've seen some sculptors, you see. They're not exactly sculptors. In Assamese it is called khanikar, Those who are making some Durga, Kali, Saraswati, such kind of manifestations they have been done. And I also follow them sometimes. I wanted to make some students as an artist and to develop my own country.
Right since his childhood, Padam Bodgohain was interested in various art forms. Not contented with the canvas provided by nature, he took to formal education in art. But his unquenchable thirst was not satisfied. Then he took admission in the Fine Arts Department of Vishwa Bharati University, Shantiniketan. Thereafter, he went on to complete a number of formal courses like art appreciation and was admitted as a member of Delhi Lalit Kala Academy. The works of Padam Bodgohain are on display at all the landmarks in Assam, the most prominent of which is the brave woman of Assam, Kanaklata. Today, the ever-seeking spirit of Bodgohain has made him the principal of Assam Art Gallery, Kala Sangam, and is actively engaged in imparting his skill to the youngsters.